Go.
Hello and welcome to week 11 of Friday Football Fever. I'm Jeff Jones, and guys, for the second week in a row, we've made history here on Fever. To the first time in my knowledge, we've had the same exact matchup with the same two teams as our game of the week twice in one season. Back in mid-October, we featured Llano versus Lago Vista as our game of the week. Those were the top two teams in their district, 13-3A. Now, Llano came out on top in that matchup, but both teams remained undefeated since then until now. A rematch was set in the fourth round of the playoffs.
I feel like we kind of underestimated them a little bit.
We're a pretty solid team at this point. A lot better than we were when we played them the first time.
We just can't underestimate them this time, and we definitely won't. They've made it 4 rounds of the playoffs.
They want to play us, and I'll tell you this, our kids want to play them. This has turned into a rivalry.
They've beaten us, and we've beaten them. We've played each other on homecoming. Our kids are getting pretty familiar with each other, and with that comes a little bit of a rivalry feel.
And it's pretty rare that you get to play a true rival twice in the same year, much less for the regional championship.
Let's get moving with our QC Kinetics Game of the Week. You guys know I like to call this game the Battle of the O's. Llano and Lago. I promise it didn't catch on at some point, but what's already called on now are rushing scores of all types. Vikings' Lance Powers powered in for the short yardage score. When the Yellow Jackets get the ball back, well, there was nothing short about this. An 80-yard sprint. Sounds like a punishment to me, but I'm willing to bet Case Kirkendall had a smile on his face the whole time. That smile probably faded a bit on this play. Watch Lago's Sam Hurley with a fantastic strip. That is exactly how they teach you how to do it. Fast forward to the fourth, Llano trailed by 2 with just 35 seconds left when Kirkendall worked his way back into the end zone off the left side. So it was down to this, down by 6 with a chance to tie or win the game. The Lago Vista pass was intercepted. Llano remains undefeated. The Yellow Jackets win. 31-26 is the final score. So guys, you have seen the highlights, you know the final score, but in a game like this, in an environment like this, that doesn't tell nearly all the story. I'm gonna welcome in my good friend Emily Jean Greco. And Emily, I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna let the people behind the curtain a little bit. When this game ended and you came back from your on-field interview with Coach Green from Llano, you came in the live truck where I was working, you slammed the door and you said, now that's a game of the week.
It was. This is what you expect out of the game of the week, Jeff. You know, we've seen a lot of blowouts, unfortunately, this season for our game of the week. We haven't had much luck, but tonight it was to a point, I want to say we're in like low 40s, maybe even high 30s. I was sweating at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. It came down to the final second, and I want to talk about Llano's season because it has been a historic season for Llano. They haven't gone undefeated since 1997. It's been their first district title since 1997. They've never made it to the fourth round of the playoffs, and tonight they won it. They remain undefeated. Case Kirkendall continues to be the MVP, and Coach Matt Green said he is happy that this one is finally over because it was a battle getting this far.
Well, I'm ecstatic. I mean, I'm telling you, but those last 20 seconds were awful. That's the most miserable 20 seconds of my coaching career. Hats off to Lago, who played an amazing football game, but also hats off to our kids who battled and scrapped and fought. And I tell you what, that was 2 good teams going at it, and we won it, we earned it, and again, congratulations to Lago Vista, but awesome job by our kids in Llano.
When I had a chance to speak with you earlier in the week, you were telling me how historic this season is for you. Your first time making it to the fourth round of the playoffs, now you win it. Just talk about all of the history you've made so far this season.
Well, this team has done so much. They won the first district title since 1997, which was unbelievable. They then turn around and we go to the third round of the playoffs, which matches only 2 other teams, the 73 and I think the 07. I'll get them mixed up. But that matched it. Last week is further than any Llano team's ever gone, and certainly tonight with this victory, we have accomplished some things that has never, ever been done in Llano. It's a tribute to our kids, our coaches, and I'm going to tell you, to our community, what a crowd tonight. And I just tell you, the force behind these kids is unreal. I feel like we're all living a little bit of a dream in Llano, Texas.
Well, Coach, congratulations. You guys continue to win. We're looking forward to continue to cover you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you.
So, Jeff, they're living a dream in Llano, Texas. And you know what? As a reporter, I'm living a dream because after that win, Coach ran up to me, gave me a hug. He was saying I was a good luck charm. I was like, that is a dream as a reporter. I'm like, I did something right. I did something right, Central Texas.
There we go. You did something right. Llano did plenty of things right. And Lago Vista did a lot right as well. As we were talking about earlier, these were the top two teams in District 13 3A, the smaller divisions in our state, 4A on down. They're in the playoffs now. The bigger ones, though, 5A and 6A, are still playing. And speaking of the top two teams in a division or in a conference, well, we saw that same thing go down the road in Dripping Springs. Let's go ahead and show you the next highlights here. Guys, this was basically a district championship game in Dripping Springs. The Tigers hosted Seguin, and Cameron O'Bannon wanted that championship bad. First, he scooped the pass off the ground and took it for the score. Then he went on the end around and weaved his way all the way through traffic and down to the goal line. There are just a few minutes left in this game, but it actually looks like the guys from Seguin are going to keep Dripping Springs from finishing this year with an undefeated district record. Seguin leads this one 70-56 in the fourth quarter. Staying in District 12 5A, Buda Johnson and New Braunfels Canyon wanted to find out who would finish higher in the district standings. They settled it on the field so they wouldn't have to flip a coin. You see what I did there? That joke and video, mildly impressive. This Rich Kelly catch, though, all I can say is wow. If Rich is going to make those kind of catches on Fridays, he might one day get rich by playing on Sundays. That drive would end with a field goal. Canyon's next two drives would end with much more. The local guys are still going to the playoffs, but they did not get a win tonight. Canyon wins 44-10. Now, Emily, I know there aren't a bunch of games going on tonight, so instead of taking a look at the scoreboard, can you tell us what games are on the schedule for tomorrow?
Jeff, you know I got you. I got you. Cedar Ridge locked up a playoff spot with their win over Hutto on Monday, and tomorrow night they'll try to build some more momentum against a Stony Point team that thought their season was over a few weeks ago, but now they get one more game. So for tomorrow's schedule, Cedar Ridge and Stony Point are going to go at 7 p.m. And then in the 4A playoffs, LBJ has won 5 straight since losing to Lampasas, and in order to make it 6 straight, they'll have to beat the team that beat Lampasas. The Jags play Miller tomorrow in San Antonio. And private school fans, St. Michael's hasn't lost a game since September, but neither has Second Baptist. The Crusaders hope to take down the guys from Houston in the second round. So the LBJ Miller game is at 2:30, and then the St. Michael's St. Baptist game is at 1 o'clock.
We'll be keeping an eye on all of those. Thanks, Emily. Back to the highlights we go. A perfect undefeated regular season record was on the line tonight as Cedar Park hosted Manor. Ryder Hernandez found Jack Hestera for the 51-yard touchdown. That ball nearly hit the moon. Jack said, I don't know how he did it. I just catch and score. Gave us one of those little shrugs like in the meme. Apparently, he's not the only one who knows where the end zone is. Gunnar Absek in for 6 moments later. Cedar Park finished that perfect regular season. Final score tonight, 59-18. Guys, we have updated you on 5 of the biggest games tonight and 3 more coming up tomorrow. And we have much more left to show you. Scores, highlights, our band of the week, and our big play save of the week nominees are all coming up next. as brothers. You know, the trust, the loyalty, the love they have for one another, it's not quite biological, but it feels that way. Well, two guys at Westwood have that bond and much, much more. Meet Aaron and RJ Martinez.
Their relationship is just really, they've always been really close.
You know, he's got my back and I got his.
In a tough time, he can help me to like just push through it.
Meet Aaron and RJ, two guys who were brothers on the field and in real life. These two go together like peanut butter and jelly, like peas in a pod, or like a center and a quarterback.
He has a perfect snap every play, and I mean perfect, it's perfect right in my chest every time.
They've been with each other through the good times like Friday night wins and the tough times like big brother Aaron's fight to overcome a speech impediment.
When he was younger, you know, it was really hard to understand. That's never stopped him from, you know, doing anything that he's wanted to do.
Seeing how he handled it and seeing how he pushed through it, you know, really inspired me.
So it always gives us inspiration and motivation to be able to overcome, you know, any challenges that we come across whenever we think of Aaron.
When I asked him about his journey, Aaron downplayed it, but he was quick to offer advice to any young person who is starting a path similar to the one he's on.
Just get out of your comfort zone and just talk to people and like start like conversations with them and just like try to be their friends and stuff and like teammates, and that's all it comes with.
It's a very, very likable family. And guys, you know, when I asked Aaron and RJ what they're going to miss most about their time at Westwood and playing on that football team, they both told me the people. And tonight they had a chance to line up with some of their favorite people in the world for one last game. Emily, you made it out to that Round Rock Westwood game, and for the Warriors, well, they had their hands full.
They did. It was their final game of the season, but they had a chance to really upset Round Rock. And they did good at the beginning. They did. I'm going to give it to Anthony Wood and the team. They did good in the beginning. Let's show the highlights, though, show how it all went down. Here's something you don't normally see from a top team. A fumble recovered by Israel Morgan, who takes it in for a Dragon touchdown, and Round Rock is the first on the board in this one. But Westwood has a chance to answer back. And the guy you just interviewed, Jeff, RJ Martinez, pass to Julian DeBerry, who can't be taken down. He stays in the lines. He tiptoes his way down the field. He's tripped up right before the end zone. Coach Wood says, and yeah, the final in this one, Round Rock does win big. It's 70-41. So unfortunately, Jeff, your team didn't get the win, but they fought.
They fought hard. On to another squad that's been fighting hard all season. Coach Doug Warren and the guys at Wimberley are peaking at the right time. They took on Navarro in the 4th round of the 4A playoffs, and look at how confident the Texans are. They go for it on 4th and 18. You know the defense is saying, watch the deep ball, watch the deep ball. Well, guess what Wimberley did? They hit the deep ball. Matthew Tibby to tie Pruitt for the score after a 66-yard Moses Ray touchdown. The defense joined the party. Nova Rankin with the scoop, the score, the sideways, triple axel, ollie, kickflip, 360. I don't know what it's called, but it looked really, really cool. Wimberley gets revenge on a team that beat them in the regular season. They topped Navarro 35-14. My friend Jay Garcia was at that game and had a chance to chat with the Texans.
Jeff, head coach Todd Warren might have gone into this game thinking it's tough to repeat the past. His players said, why, of course you can. For the second year in a row, Wimberley knocks Navarro out of the playoffs, the second year in a row that it came after losing to them in the regular season. The Texans get the last laugh once again as they gash the Panthers every which way in the first half and put the finishing touches on things after the break to advance to the semifinal round of the Texas high school football playoffs.
It's unbelievable. You know, just got to give your hats off to these kiddos. They just keep getting better, and they just fight and claw and do what it takes to get the job done.
Getting revenge is always the best.
We're just going to play the next game and just try to get better each and every week. And so our kids really take that to heart. And so we may not, you know, 6th ball game of the year, we may not be at our best. But now 12th ball game, 13th ball game, 14th ball game, we're a different team.
I think everyone always underestimates us. I just don't know what it is about us that they just don't like. I think we're going to have a good game versus Carthage, though. I think it'll be a hard-fought win.
Kind of a us against the world type mentality, I guess. You know, they believe, we believe that we can get it done, and that's all that matters.
So Wimberley might want to start going by Winberley. They've now rattled off 5 straight, and a win next week would mean they punch their ticket to their 2nd straight state championship game. Jeff, back to you and the rest of the Friday Football Fever crew.
To the guys at Lehman who have gotten better and better over each of the past 4 seasons. A win tonight will wrap up their best finish since 2016. But a win was not in store for the Lobos. They hosted Veterans Memorial, and the guys from San Antonio came away with the win in this one. Final score tonight, 49-7. Well, regardless of if your team is winning or losing, if you've gotten out to a game this year, one thing is probably for sure. It kind of felt like a normal game, not in the pandemic, because you heard and you saw the band. Emily and I got to see and hear a band tonight, and we'd like to honor a band as our band of the week. This week, that band is Pflugerville Connolly. Take a listen. To Friday Football Fever. She's Emily, I'm Jeff, and guys, COVID-19 forced some games this season to be postponed. That was the case with McCallum and Northeast a few weeks ago. Today, though, was their makeup date. We got to see the Raiders and McCallum take the field. The Knights take the field. The Raiders hope to snap a losing streak to McCallum. Let's roll the highlights for you. It was not their night on the field tonight. This night instead belonged to McCallum quarterback Jackson Rosales. He hit Brock Fanning in the flat, and Brock did a little Superman dive into the end zone. Then it was Jackson in for his second rushing score of the day. The Knights end their regular season with a 20-0 shutout win.
All right, let's head over to Regents taking on Fort Bend Christian Academy in the second round of the playoffs. Regents with a kickoff return. It's Josh Franklin and Frank Lee. He's pretty good at running, bobbing and weaving his way down the field, taken down at the 4-yard line. Next play, Drew Dickey connects with Trevor Tezak, who takes it 4 yards into the end zone, and Regent takes a 7-0 lead. Regent goes on to win this one 42-15. They advance to the state semis, where there's a chance they'll get a rematch against St. Michael's, who, like we talked about earlier, Jeff, plays tomorrow.
I would love to see that local rematch like we saw tonight, you know, in the playoffs. And speaking of the playoffs, the private school guys are there, the 3A guys are there, but the big schools aren't there. Emily, real quick, is there a big school 5A or 6A playoff storyline that you're keeping an eye on this year?
Liberty Hill, because of what happened with their coach. I'm rooting for them.
Definitely. We're going to talk about more about what happened with Coach Jeff Walker in just a moment. A storyline I'm following very closely. Westlake and Lake Traverse are going to be playing in the same division this year. There's a chance we could see the two of them play each other in the 4th round. And if they both make it that far, and if you happen to get out there or you're watching the show at home come then, I want you to check that game out in one of these Friday Football Fever t-shirts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my friend JP Harrington, our photographer, to take a picture of me. I got one glove on, one glove off. That's okay. The t-shirt's the same. There we go. I'll post that picture on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages at Jeff Jones Sports. And I'm going to randomly pick a person who comments on that picture and follows me on that platform. I'll reach out to you and see where I can mail one of these T-shirts too. You guys stay right there. We have much more coming up on the other side of the break. Friday Football Fever. She's Emily, I'm Jeff, and right now is when we award our PEC Power Player of the Week. It's an honor that goes to somebody who gets the job done on and off the field and really adds to game days every week. Typically, this honor goes to a student, but this week Emily and I spoke and we decided that this week the honor should go to Liberty Hill head coach Jeff Walker, who passed away on Tuesday following an 8-year battle with cancer.
Jeff, you know, I had a chance to talk with him 5 weeks ago during our game of the week. They played Marble Falls. They won it 40-7. And that's typical of them. They're constantly blowing out every team. But coach kept saying, we need to do better. We're still not good enough. We have to be better. And I was like, if that doesn't attest to the type of man and the type of coach and the type of person he is, he was a fighter. And that's what he did with his battle with cancer. He fought.
Every single day, did not miss a single game. And during this near decade-long fight, Coach Walker rarely missed a practice, and as we just said, did not miss a single game, including the Panthers' 84-0 win over Navarro just 11 days before he passed away. During his time at Liberty Hill, he held every title from assistant coach to athletics director. The day before his death, the district superintendent spoke with Coach Walker, telling him, quote, "These kids are better because you coach them, you improve them, you love them, and you built champions." This year's Panthers are 8-0 district champs, and you know they want to bring home an even bigger championship in memory of their head coach. Jeff Walker was 52 years old. Welcome back to Friday Football Fever. Each and every week, we see hundreds of great plays on high school football fields, and it's our job to put our minds together and pick 3 to show you as our Austin Telco Big Save of the Week nominees. Let's go ahead and roll nominee number 1. And this one actually comes from a Thursday night game. Guys, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you were absolutely sure of what you wanted to do, then you changed your mind? If so, you know how Hendrickson's Jaden Williams felt. He started off towards the left sideline, then said, you know what? Nah, this ain't for me. I want to try that right sideline, and I bet you can guess where he found over there. The end zone. Jaden will make his college decision next week. He'll either play his ball at Boston College, Utah, or Tulane.
Option number 2, you saw this one in the Westwood Round Rock game. A fumble by the Dragons, but it was recovered by Round Rock's Israel Morgan. He just scooped it up like it was nothing and put the Dragons up 7-0. He helps them get that win.
I like that fumble recovery storyline. Let's stay there. Last up, when you have a good defensive play, well, you know you're going to get it on here as a nominee. Wimberley's Caden Gonse stripped the ball, and not only did Nova and Racken score, but he added a cool little flip into the end zone. The Texans are 2 wins away from a state championship game. Guys, now that you have seen the 3 nominees, it's your job to vote. You do that by going to my Twitter page at Jeff Jones Sports. In about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to post a poll with those 3 nominees as options. All you have to do is click on the one that you like the best. We will re-air the winning video Tuesday on KVUE in the 6 p.m. show. Emily, I think it went pretty well today. We saw a last-second win. You feeling good about this Friday Football Fever?
I feel great. I'm a little cold, though. Yeah, can y'all see our breath?
You know what? That's a good point. You're cold. They're telling me the show is about to end. Let's go get warm. We'll see you next time with more local sports news.